Kenobi. I will be starting in just a moment. I am doing the shares to Discord. There will be no pretzel rock music tonight as I am doing a talk or discussion on astrology. I just had dinner. I had some chicken and pasta. What are you making or having? I think we're good on that. So let us get started. So everyone, so I do this astrology study group over on my YouTube channel. But I wanted to try it out on Twitch tonight, see if I can get a little bit more interactions. So the book we're working through is called Astrology for Yourself, a workbook for personal transformation. It's how to understand and interpret your own birth chart. This is the book. And I got a copy of my chart right here. So we are in chapter 3. And chapter 3 is writing your personality profile. So we've already done the sun, and the moon last week. Let me switch over to my desktop screen. And I'm going to put Twitch on my phone so that I can be able to see chat. So, one second while I do that. Alright. Yeah, I can see chat while the screen is up. Okay. So, Astrology for Yourself, Chapter 3.2, since this is the second part of Chapter 3, Writing Your Personality Profile. So, we are going to be starting with Mercury. Mercury is the messenger, ruler of Gemini and Virgo, and I think. Mercury, planetary ruler of signs Gemini and Virgo, symbolizes our capacity to think, speak, learn, and reason. In Greek mythology, Mercury was portrayed as Hermes, the winged messenger god, the swiftest of the gods. Hermes Mercury delivered messages throughout the land with great speed and alacrity. In his hands he carried the caduceus, a staff of two snakes intertwined about a vertical rod, a symbol of the power of knowledge. From the above symbolism, it is clear that Mercury, planet of the intellect, epitomizes the air element and rules Gemini. In its association with Gemini, Mercury governs the intellect, rational mind, speech, and language. Aside from being a messenger, Hermes was a marvelous orator, writer, and teacher. Likewise, Mercury types are excellent communicators and often earn their living by using the gift of speech. In human development, Mercury rules the ages between 7 and 13. Sigmund Freud called this period the latent stage, a time when the child's energies can be fully channeled into learning. During this period, which focuses on the elementary school experience, the child does indeed develop the Mercury functions. They learn to read and write, to think symbolically, and acquire a great deal of knowledge about the world. This is why many educators believe that the primary education lays the foundation for future learning and mental development. When the Mercury function is not working properly, problems in learning and communication may develop. One such example is portrayed by the so-called learning disorders, which affect a number of children. Physiologically, Mercury rules the central nervous system. This communication network consists of billions of interconnected cells which carry messages to and from the brain, much like an electronic switching network. Mercury also rules the respiratory system, including the lungs, bronchi, windpipe, and nose. Okay, why is... Y'all are not seeing my... Hold on. I don't... Y'all should be able to see that screen and not... Okay, it does that. No? Okay. There. Skillful expression is communicative, intelligent, rational, and clever. And the unskillful expressions are over-intellectual, restless, over-talkative, and cunning. Is there any questions so far? Alright, so now we'll move on to the exercise 3. I interpret Mercury in my birth chart. All of these are going to be considered exercise 3 because it's for each planet and asteroid. So just make a mental note of that. So the Mercury key phrases are my reasoning mind, my ability to formulate concepts and ideas, and my ability to communicate them to others. So number 1, my planet Mercury is in the sign of. And for these exercises, we'll be using my chart as the example. So my planet Mercury is in the sign of Taurus. In the birth chart, my Mercury sign shows how I acquire knowledge, formulate concepts, and communicate them to others. Thus, I can best communicate and use my rational mind by fulfilling my need to be resourceful, productive, and stable. When I am using these signs qualities skillfully, I tend to communicate in a intelligent, communicative, or rational manner. However, when I'm using these sign qualities unskillfully, I may communicate in a restless or over-talkative manner. Sorry, that was a notification for, I don't know what that was a notification for, because I don't have anything open. So number 2, my Mercury sign's element is, so mine is Earth. How I think and communicate is concretely and pragmatically. So as you can see on the slide, that you will find your element, your Mercury's element, which mine was Earth, and then how you think and communicate is across from there, and that would be, for me, concretely and pragmatically. Number 3, my Mercury is in the second house. Therefore, my capacity for learning and communication is best expressed in these areas of my life. Earning and spending habits and attitudes towards possession. And if you're wondering where I got the answers for the blanks, the house one is in chapter 2, which y'all can find on my YouTube channel. It was one of the exercises in chapter 2. And then you can find the blanks for the end of for chapter question 3 in the appendix B, which you can find on the previous lessons slides, which is, like I said, again, on my YouTube channel, House of Sage and Lavender. Next, we have Venus. Venus is goddess of love and beauty, the ruler of Taurus and Libra, and the keywords are I harmonize. Venus, planetary ruler of the signs Libra and Taurus, symbolizes the capacity to attract the people and things we love and value. Venus represents the core essence of the feminine nature. Through her powers of divine beauty and magnetic desirability, she ignites the spark of the creative process. She is the wellspring of the feminine vital force which begets and renews life. Venus was known to the Greeks as Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty. In her earlier aesthetic origins, she was also worshipped as a nature goddess and primal mother of all ongoing creation. As the embodiment of grace, harmony, and loveliness, Venus cultivates beauty through the arts and social graces. She endows a natural elegance and refined aesthetic sense. Those individuals under her patronage are the artists and musicians of the zodiac, expressing balance and harmony through color, line, proportion, modulation, melody, and rhythm. In Venus's world, beauty of form and harmony of living heal and uplift the human soul. When the Venus principle is exaggerated, it can lead to overindulgence of the senses, laziness, and abhorrence of hard work. Are y'all still with me? Venus also symbolizes our personal magnetism and how we draw to ourselves what we love and value. In her rulership of the earth sign Taurus, she attracts sensual pleasure, material substance, money, and good life. One moment, I need to drink water. Through her, we determine what we appreciate. In her association with the air sign Libra, Venus governs our social urge, the need to interact and join with others. In love and friendship, Venus signifies what turns us on and how we turn others on. Venus reveals the way we express our affections and feelings for others, how we give ourselves to them. Traditional astrology associates Venus with mates or marriage partners. However, mythological Venus did not honor her marriage vows and had many lovers, gods and mortals alike. She served as the goddess who taught the lessons of sexuality, desirability, taking responsibility for the affections we arouse in others, as well as sorrow, loss, rejection, impermanence, and love. Thus, while Venus represents the principle of attraction, it is the asteroid Juno, goddess of marriage, that gives more specific information about our capacity to sustain ongoing relationships. Venus is our social urge to interact with others, but not necessarily to bond with them for a long time. She indicates how women express their own sexuality, like a flower alluring a bee, and to the extent that men project their anima, or feminine aspect, Venus for them is the image of their ideal woman. Physiologically, Venus rules the female sex organs, the body's glands, the venous return of blood, the throat through Taurus, and the kidneys through Libra. And for the skillful expression, there is beautiful, refined, harmonizing, graceful, and artistic. Unskillful expression is self-indulgent, vain, over-sensuous, and lazy. So, for the exercise 3 for Venus, so the key phrases for Venus is my need for interaction with others, what turns me on, what I find attractive, aesthetics, charm, refinement, good taste, and artistic interest. So, number 1, my planet Venus in the sign of, and mine is in the sign of Gemini. In the birth chart, my Venus indicates how I relate to others and express my aesthetic sensibility. Thus, I can best track people and the things that I love and value by fulfilling my need to be resourceful and productive and stable. When I am using these sign qualities skillfully, I tend to interact in a refined, graceful, or artistic manner when seeking unions with others. However, when I'm using these sign qualities unskillfully, I may interact in a self-indulgent or lazy manner. Number 2, my Venus sign's element is air. What I seek in my interaction with others is thoughts and ideas and mental interactions. Number 3, my Venus, sorry, I didn't click over there. My Venus is in the second house. My Venus is in the third house. Therefore, my capacity for love, beauty, and harmony is best expressed in these areas of my life: teaching and sisterhood. I'm going to go back and mention the journal entries at the end. All right, so next up we have Mars. Mars is the warrior, ruler of Aries, and I act. Mars, planetary ruler of Aries and Scorpio, symbolizes the capacity to act and assert ourselves based upon personal desire. Known as Ares to the Greeks, Mars gained his reputation as the Roman god of war. In the birth chart, Mars functions as the right-hand man of the Sun. The Sun formulates our goals, and Mars pursues them. He proclaims, "I want and I will get. No obstacles are too great, no enemies too strong. I will overcome them all." Hence, those of us who respond to the vibrations of Mars possess the energy, drive, and ambition to accomplish whatever we desire. Through Mars, we learn to act as independent and self-sufficient beings and to project ourselves onto the world. Mars gives us the courage to stand up to our rights, to assert ourselves, and to express anger when necessary. The proper channeling of this assertive energy can produce great accomplishments, courageous deeds, and or athletic achievements. However, when the power of Mars goes unchecked, it manifests as reckless aggression, violence, and war. The prevalence of violence in the world today indicates that one of humanity's greatest challenges lies in learning to redirect its Mars energies into more constructive outlets. Mars also represents our capacity for physical passion and desire for sexual gratification. This sexual orientation expresses itself through the masculine desire to thrust, penetrate, and eject its seed. Mars' inherent phallic nature is depicted by its symbol, which resembles an erect penis. Individuals with a strong Mars invariably possess strong sexual desires. Their challenge lies in learning to constructively apply this powerful creative force. In today's Mars-dominant world, two Martian phallic symbols assume great importance: the missile and the warhead. The current proliferation of these destructive weapons is another example of the imbalance of Mars energy on the planet. When the masculine and feminine energies of Mars and Venus come into balance, then much of the warring and devastating forces will abate. Physiologically, the fiery Mars rules the muscular system, the blood, specifically the red oxygen-carrying hemoglobin, the male's sexual organs, and the adrenal glands. People who repress their Mars functions often experience a deficiency in one of these bodily functions and complain of having too little energy or drive in their daily lives. Skillful expression words are courageous, assertive, enterprising, and decisive. Unskillful expression is aggressive, violent, selfish, and coarse. So, I interpret Mars in my birth chart. Mars key phrases: my ability to project myself in the world, my personal drive, my level of activity and energy, my assertive and potentially aggressive urges, and my sexuality. So number 1, my planet Mars is in the sign of, mine is in the sign of Taurus. In the birth chart, my Mars sign describes how I assert myself and purpose and pursue my wants and desires. Thus, I can best project myself, forge ahead, and get what I want by fulfilling my need to be independent and develop self-awareness. When I am using these signs' qualities skillfully, I tend to act in a courageous, assertive, or decisive manner. However, when I'm using these sign qualities unskillfully, I may act in a selfish or coarse manner. Number 2, my Mars sign's element is, and mine is Earth. How I assert and project myself is by being conservatively and patiently. Number 3, my Mars is in the 2nd house. Therefore, my capacity to assert myself, forge ahead, and get what I want is best expressed in these areas of my life: personal resources and possessions. And then the final planet we are going to cover tonight is Jupiter. Jupiter, principle of improvement, a ruler of Sagittarius, and its key phrase is I expand. Jupiter, planetary ruler of Sagittarius, symbolizes our search for meaning, truth, and ethical values. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, spinning so fast that it bulges at the equator. As Zeus in Greek mythology, he ruled the world from atop Mount Olympus. Jupiter symbolizes the principle of increase and expansion. While Mars directs its fiery energy in one direction, Jupiter expands like a balloon in all directions. Jupiter enlarges awareness through seeking a broader vision of reality, a vision gained through exploring the realms of philosophy, religion, ethics, higher education, and foreign travel. Jupiter's placement in the birth chart shows how we express our high-mindedness and ethical principles. The planet of duality, Jupiter, instills faith and hope in the souls of men and women. Through the workings of Jupiter, the entrepreneur dreams of the future business. The patient expresses optimism about an ultimate recovery, and the parent envisions a better life for the child. Throughout the centuries, Jupiter has been called the Great Benefit, the bringer of good fortune, benevolence, abundance, and prosperity. Perhaps this is because good fortune usually arises from maintaining a confident and optimistic attitude. It is the Jupiter function within that produces the positive expectation that later materializes in good fortune. Of course, Jupiter can become over-optimistic and inspire false hope. This is where Jupiter's outlook needs to be tempered with a bit of realism and practicality. Another unskillful expression of Jupiter arises from the exaggeration and excess. The faults of Jupiter are depicted by the phrase, "Too much of a good thing can be bad for you." Too much food results in obesity. Too much faith produces poor judgment. Too much travel leads to rootlessness. Too much good fortune may lead to taking things for granted. Therefore, heavenly justice decrees that Jupiter be followed by Saturn, the planet of limitation. Physiologically, Jupiter rules the process of growth and preservation. While Mars provides energy for growth, Jupiter rules the activity itself. Jupiter also governs the body's largest gland, the liver. An enlarged liver is a sure sign of overindulgence, especially of alcohol. Skillful expression words are benevolent, broad-minded, generous, and optimistic. Its unskillful expression words are excessive, exaggerative, misjudging, and pompous. For exercise 3, I interpret Jupiter in my birth chart. Jupiter's key phrases are my desire to improve and enrich my life, my need to look to the future and expand my horizons, my benevolence, generosity, and optimistic outlook. Number 1, my planet Jupiter is in the sign of Sagittarius. In the birth chart, my Jupiter sign indicates how I seek meaning in my life and expand my horizons. I can best express these potentials by fulfilling my need to explore and expand the horizons of my mind and world. When I am using these sign qualities skillfully, I tend to expand my horizons in a generous or optimistic manner. However, when I'm using these sign qualities unskillfully, I may be excessive or misjudging. Number 2, my Jupiter sign element is fire. I find meaning through self-expression. I expand my awareness through new adventures. Number 3, my Jupiter is in the 9th house. My search for truth, meaning, and personal growth is best expressed in these areas of my life: metaphysics and exploration. So going back to Mercury, I am going to tell y'all the example journal entries for each planet. So in your journal, write a few sentences on how you are expressing Mercury's energy in your own life. The following questions may serve to stimulate and activate your thinking about the planet. How do I relate to the world of the mind? Do I see myself as primarily a mental individual? What is my style of communication? Do I prefer to communicate in a verbal or nonverbal manner? What is my approach to learning? Do I enjoy adding to my knowledge? Do I like to learn from books, or do I prefer to learn by doing? Venus journal questions. How do I relate to my social urge? Am I primarily a people person? How much time do I spend relating to others versus in my own company? What types of people or things turn me on? What am I most attracted to? How much personal responsibility do I accept for the pain and rejection I experience in my personal interactions? How important is beauty and harmony in my life? Do I seek out aesthetically pleasing environments? Am I engaged in any artistic endeavors? I can answer that question for myself. That's a yes. If you haven't watched me before. So Mars's journal questions is, how do I express my assertive urge? Can I stand up for myself without becoming aggressive? When I want something in my life, am I able to go for it, or do I hold back and hesitate? How do I deal with my anger? Do I get it off my chest immediately, or hold it in until it explodes at a later date? How do I experience my sexuality? How do I integrate my desire nature with my love nature? And then for Jupiter, we have, how am I attempting to expand my awareness beyond my mundane concerns? Am I constantly growing? Where do I look for meaning in my life? Do I have a philosophy or faith that helps me develop a sense of purpose? What do I want to do in a big way without becoming excessive? So that is all I wanted to cover in this session, because this chapter is a lot of information to cover. And then next Monday we will have Saturn, and Saturn also we have some extra information between Saturn and Uranus. So we have Saturn and Uranus, and then Neptune. That's 3, and then Pluto, and then that will be Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto will be next week before we move on to the asteroids and Chiron. So we still have like 20 minutes. If anybody has any questions, so I'm going to put in my. Never mind, it doesn't have that on there. Okay, so if you follow my YouTube channel, House of Sage and Lavender, you will find the first 3 videos, and then of course I will be uploading the video of this one on there as soon as I'm able to. So I'm going to find a quick person to send y'all to. Okay, she is spinning, so let's go see them. So / raid. Spell. have to sit through the end. But yeah, so this is the book. You can find it on Amazon. I actually have a digital copy. So if y'all need the appendixes and exercises and stuff sent to you, you can let me know your email and I can send it to you. And also, you'll need a copy of your birth chart, which you can get free easily online. So, I will be back tomorrow at our regular scheduled time.